Well, thanks everybody for joining. I'm sorry that we're doing this virtually, but this is the responsible thing to do. I want to just acknowledge Chairman Dan Reynolds from the Broome County Legislature.
Thanks.
Of course, represents the town of Vestal. And also Jason Shaw is with us, County Legislator Jason Shaw, representing District 8, where these good deeds took place. So super excited to have them with us. What I would like to do, if it's okay, and I don't want to put you guys on the spot, but Scott, I want to personally thank you on behalf of everybody on the Zoom this afternoon, really for running a really cool story, and a story that we hope that we see more and more of. So would you do me a favor? And I know we didn't talk about this, but would you just talk a little bit about, the inspiration around the story? And
oh yeah,
like Scott, take it away.
Yeah, so I initially saw John's post on Facebook, and I'll let him talk more about that. But then once I heard what the guys had done, I was like, this is something that everybody needs to hear about. 4 young men just stepping up and being able to help out their neighbors in need out of the kindness of their heart. Didn't ask for anything in return. Weren't asking if they could do it ahead of time. They just saw that, hey, they needed help on. And again, like you just alluded to, this is something people needed to hear about, especially after the historic snowstorm that we saw. I mean, people had 50 plus inches in some areas, and these guys didn't hesitate to help out those in need. And so I was just happy with the response and just being able to see that. And again, I can't, say it so many times, but like, it's just something that people need to see. And I was really happy to be able to talk with these guys and show everyone that there's a lot of good deeds happening out there.
Yeah, that's awesome. Mr. Perricone, school teacher for 31 years?
Yes, sir. It may not.
Mr. Perricone is someone that I know I can speak for the chairman and for the county legislator, someone whom we all have a deep fondness for and a great amount of respect for. So you want to just fill us in about your involvement with these 4 fine young gentlemen?
Yes. Thank you so much. First of all, I think we're living in a time where people are really looking for role models. And what were the chances that my wife and I would find 4 of them at the base of my driveway, And I learned as a very young man, I've been studying with Mr. Ocha. I'm coming up on 47 years now. And he taught me when I was in the 9th grade that in the smallest of gestures, you reveal your character, you reveal who you are. And as my wife and I were going out to shovel, and we found these young men doing this without any expectation of, as Scott said, reward, of payment, of anything, it just really, really showed who they were. And I believe that expression of their character in that moment is left them destined to do great things in their lives. And I'm so honored to know them. And I thank you. I thank you for recognizing them. It's a beautiful thing.
Well, we thank you for really starting the ball in motion, if you will. And if it weren't for your Facebook post, and then if it weren't for Scott's good journalistic work, I don't know if the world would know. I think I read in one of the documents that you had originally wrote that the story had been shared, I think, some 800 times, and it was seen around the world,
I saw it today, and it's just almost to 1,000. I couldn't believe it.
I went and checked on it too. I couldn't believe it. It's like 5 away from hitting 1,000 shares.
People really needed to hear a story like this. It was incredible. It was incredible. And I didn't mean to throw down the gauntlet when I said this probably won't be on the news tonight, but thank you.
You were calling me out. I know you really wanted it. You wanted it to be on the news. When everybody, this probably won't be on the news. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And Scott rose to the occasion, even though he's rubbing it in my face right now, but it's all good, Dave.
Well, listen, I think between the chairman and I and our respective staffs, I think we can probably share the story another 5 or 6 times tonight and get you over 1,000. So
I'm certain of that.
Yeah, that's great. Chairman, can I turn it over to you?
Yeah, I just the senator told me that that he was going to take the time to put together this presentation so we could thank you for the work that you guys did, and I'm the youngest of 6. I've been shoveling driveways since I was a little kid, and we've been in the same type of situation, and we haven't seen snowfall like this since I think I was a little kid, and the idea that you guys would take the time out to go and and help people out in need when, especially when you have snow falls in the amount that you're talking about. And I mean, you guys probably aren't thinking about not that I'm Mr. Perico, that I'm trying to imply heart issues, but we hear about those heart issues for people all the time.
Yeah.
And over 11,000 injuries happen a year with snow-related injuries from shoveling. And it just warms my heart to think that you individuals would take time out of your day to go do that, and so thoughtful and selfless. And it's really a great example for other people in the community. And I couldn't agree with you more. We needed a story like that to not only to warm our hearts to get through the cold weather and the misery of the snow that we were dealing with, but just to remind us about what's right about our community and in the future generations that we have here. We have faith in the fact that we have people that are, when they have the opportunity to go and help, they would do so without thought of reward or recognition. They're just you gentlemen were out there doing it because it was the right thing to do, and I'm proud that you were there to be able to help, and I'm glad that we get to participate today, just to say thank you, and certainly to highlight public service, because the senator and Jason and I are in public service in particular, and when we talk about it, this is what it is at its core. It's really about helping people. So thank you so much for doing that and for being an inspiration for our community.
Very well said. County Legislator Shaw.
Yes, thank you, Senator. I know George Phillips, the son. I've met him, but I know his father much better, and I know his grandfather pretty well too, who lives next to Mr. Perricone there. And the Phillips family has just such a great history of helping others in all three of those generations. It really is great to see. I know the neighborhoods they go in, and their help to the older people in those neighborhoods is really appreciated. I don't think I've ever met Louis, Pablo, and Juan, but they've got to be great kids too. And thank you for coming up here. I'm assuming you're related to George through his mother's side, is what I'm assuming. And I really appreciate you coming up and spending a snowstorm with us and helping our community.
It wasn't like our normal snowstorm either. I would respectfully argue. Today is a historic day, right? It is a special day for our democracy, and everything happening with the inauguration of a new president. And it's a happy day for many Americans, and really for all Americans, right? Because this is what democracy is about. And I'm just happy because the four of you, being young men, really are acting as or serving as role models for others. I started a program in my Senate office a couple of years ago. It's called ACSHAR's All-Stars, where we recognize school students for the good work that they're doing both in school and in the community. And every once in a while, I just said this last week, every once in a while you come across just a remarkable story. And, this is one of those really remarkable stories where you have four young men stepping up to the plate and just doing great work. And, I don't have to say this. I think Mr. Perricone alluded to this. I mean, we're living in a time, right, where there's just so much divisiveness and anger towards one another, people labeling one another. And really what we saw from the four of you was everything that is good about New Yorkers, good about Americans. And I just super excited to be with you all just for a little bit of time this afternoon, and to be able to share your story. And we're going to I don't think we'll do a good a job as Scott did in terms of sharing your story, but we are going to try darn hard, to do that. So this afternoon, we wanted to present you all. I know we're doing this virtually, but we'll send you all a package in the mail. I want to present you all with the New York State Senate Commendation Award.
That's great.
Now, this award, I'm going to send you this. This is a glass award. I'll send you a challenge coin along with that. And for me, as your state senator, it's one of the highest awards that I, in my official capacity, can bestow upon the citizenry. And it's really reserved for members of our community who go above and beyond and who are, acting in such a capacity where they're serving as role models, or they're serving as, doing things that people look up to. So just tell me how old everybody is. I'm sorry, I don't have your exact ages. George, how old are you?
I am 14.
14. Louis?
I'm 18.
Pablo?
I'm 14.
And Juan?
I'm 17 now.
This is amazing, right, guys and gals? I mean, you have such young people doing such good work, and I just, often I think to myself, anyways, during periods of reflection, what will our community be like moving forward, or what will this nation be like moving forward? And then I don't know how John you feel, or Dan you feel, but hearing stories like this and seeing how young people are acting and conducting themselves and trying to give back to the communities in which they live or they spend time, it gives me some solace in knowing that I think we're in a pretty good place. Yeah. And if only more people acted like George, Louis, Pablo, and Juan, we would be in a much, much better place. I don't know if anybody has any thoughts on that.
I totally agree. And I think, quite frankly, by acting the way that you did, you'll lead by example. And those are the types of things that spur other acts of kindness as well. And I think that we could all do better by thinking about ways to be able to be helpful, and just showing a simple act of kindness. In this case, I don't know how simple it felt during the middle of the shoveling, but the notion behind it and the gesture behind it is I think the point that the senator is making. And I agree. I believe we're with your generation. It's acts like this that make me feel good about what's in front of us. And I think that's something that you should all be proud of as well. And Senator, we're taking your lead as well. The legislature with Legislator Shaw and I will also be sending you citations to honor the work that you did, and quite frankly, to highlight the example. And I will absolutely guarantee that we will join the senator in sharing your story. We'll make sure that we get well over 1,000 for you on it, because quite frankly, it deserves it.
No, for sure. Mr. Perricone, I'm sorry if I interrupted you. I'm sorry.
No, I would just say, for all the complaining that goes on about the youth of today, these 4 young men, I think, restored the faith of humanity in a lot of people's hearts. And I don't know if you know this, but as soon as they were done in my driveway, they went next door to my 83-year-old neighbor's driveway and continued there. So I'm just praying for a major snowfall at this point. Great young men. Great young men.
Feel free to stop over in Vestal next time too when you're done.
Pablo, Juan, and Louis, what's the appropriate pronunciation of your last name?
It's Quintero, or a lot of people say Quintero.
Well, I would have said Quintero, but I'm going to try to say Quintero. Right?
And then my first name is Luis.
Luis, okay. Are your mom and dad on the line?
Yeah, my mom's here.
Mom, okay. And Mr. and Mrs. Phillips are on the line as well. To the parents, to these young men's parents, on behalf of the people that I so proudly represent, there are more than 315,000 of them. I say thank you, really, from the bottom of my heart, for raising such amazing young men.
Thank you.
I know that they work hard in their own right to be the young men that they are, but that just doesn't happen by itself and doesn't happen overnight. So thank you so much for raising 4 really, really fine young men.
Well said.
Thank you.
I think I'll, Chairman and Jason and John, and maybe just some closing thoughts.
Jason?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, you guys brought up technology and the new generation. And the truth is, if we didn't have the social media we have, we never would have known really en masse about this. And there were great acts going on, I'm sure, all around the county that day. And it is great, though, that somebody actually captured one of them and shared it in such a great way. And I've known John quite a long time, actually, since high school, where we did karate together. And he has always been a great advocate of those who will help others. So thank you, John. And thank you, everyone else who's involved.
Yeah, we get to see the power of random acts of kindness. And I think if that's something that you can take through and inspire others to take on that responsibility and share random acts of kindness, I think we'll all be much, much better for it. And I wish all of you well. I'm sure, we will see some of you back in the community again. And when you're either visiting or certainly the Phillips family is longstanding members of the community too. I just, like I said, I feel great about the direction we're headed with fine young men like yourselves in our community and certainly in our country.
And I'd like to reiterate what you said, Senator. I taught school for 31 years. Your wife was my student, and almost without exception, when you meet really, really great kids, that's not an accident. We can trace that back to the parents. So our hats off to them. All the parents out there who are raising kids like this.
Yep. Amen. I agree with you wholeheartedly. So to the 4 fine young men, keep an eye out in your mailbox because the chairman and the county legislator and I will be sending you a care package. It is just a small token of our appreciation and really of us collectively being really proud of you as individuals and just a great group of young men. And Scott, it bears repeating. Thank you for, I will say this publicly. I think you are a great journalist to begin with. I think you're very fair. If you have to ask tough questions, you ask them, which you should do. But there has never been a doubt in my mind in regards to the amount of pride that you have in this community, and it shows every day. So thank you for everything that you do on a daily basis. But most importantly today on this topic, thank you for bringing it to the forefront of this community. So we are reminded that there really are great things happening, and we were able to find the good in what these 4 young men did.
Yeah, my pleasure. Thank you.
You got it. Okay, everybody, to Luis, Pablo, and Juan, and Georgie, again, we say congratulations collectively. Thank you. Yeah, as Mr. Perricone did, 2 thumbs up.
Thank you so much.
And you're very welcome. Let me just, do you guys, let me do this before we end. I'm sorry, everybody. George, let me start with you. Any thoughts? Any advice to other young people?
I just say that anywhere, it's not hard to find, but there's always work to be done, especially during very big snowstorms like that. There's always a way you can help your community, and we were just doing one of the ways that we could assist by shoveling the snow. Yeah.
Luis?
When it comes to, helping other people, I always to myself think, how would I want, other people to treat me, especially when I'm old and it's harder, do things like shoveling snow and stuff. I just really think about, how, I'd like to feel other people helping me, and I treat others, of course, the way I'd like to be treated.
Juan?
I mean, I really like to take initiative and see how these random acts of kindness can make someone's day. And I think it's always nice to go out of your comfort zone a little, because that's when you can mostly improve yourself and others.
And Juan?
And Pablo.
Who did I miss? Pablo?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, when I was growing up, I still am. I was always told to leave the place. I mean, the world a better place than you found it. And I took that into my mind, and I started to help out, like, Georgie's neighbors and everyone else. And it never hurts to help.
We are going to end there because that was the most sound advice by 4 young gentlemen that anybody could have ever received. And my point exactly about the world being in a great place. So God bless you all. Thank you so much. Mr. Perricone, thank you for joining us. Chairman, thank you. Legislator Shaw, thank you. Scott, of course, thank you for your work, and to the families, thank you so much.
Keep up the good work, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thank you.